Well, hey, how are you? Come on up, have a seat. I want to tell you a ghost story. Is it really a ghost story? At some point, you will think that it is. I was home from school on Christmas break, and I wanted to go see my friend Larry. Larry's a great guy. We're still friends after all these years, and though I don't see him nearly enough. My fault, I suppose. I don't like going out. And I lived in the country with my parents, and Larry lived at the edge of the country where it abutted onto the little village where the high school and the train station and the barber shop and a few other little things that made up the village. The Feed and Seed. A restaurant called the Village Restaurant. Hey. Where all of those were, and so the drive there, because it was night, and it was December, and it was dark, and it was cold, and the drive there took me past the Methodist Church, lovely place, where in the churchyard the faithful lie waiting the resurrection. And do you know, I saw just past the churchyard a luminous and nebulous form about the size of a man on the right side of the road. And it took me back. I had trained my mind to believe that there was no such thing as ghosts, when the spirit departs the body, that it goes to be judged and assigned a place before the resurrection, and that is a foretaste of what it shall receive as a reward for its deeds. Now, so I didn't believe in ghosts. I didn't believe, but I was getting closer and closer to this thing, and the car slowed down. Well, I didn't, just in case it was a person there walking, maybe with a flashlight, I didn't want to hit him, obviously. No, it wasn't a person with a flashlight. I got closer and closer, and my mind said there's no ghosts, and my body began to experience what Rudolf Otto in his book, The Idea of the Holy, describes as the mysterium tremendum, the mystery that makes you tremble. And my body, my arms, my hands were on the wheel, but my arms began to tremble. I couldn't control it. The thing that I could control was whether or not I was going to advance toward this thing and pass it. or whether I was going to pull off at the church and wait for whatever it was to go away, or maybe just to go back home and to call Larry and say, gosh, I had car trouble and couldn't get there, which would have been kind of a lie. Oh, there'd have been trouble with the car, but the trouble with the car would have been that nut behind the steering wheel. No, I wasn't going to do that. As Shakespeare wrote in Macbeth, I screwed my courage to the sticking place. And on I went. Slow. I got closer and closer. And it seemed like I was going slower and slower, and I probably was. The coyotes are howling in the distance. The children of the night, what music they make. Well, I finally got up on it. And I didn't know whether to laugh or to cuss myself. And looking back now, there's still a little wonder at what the heck I was doing. I didn't stop, I advanced. I kept advancing. I was going to be on the other side of that thing, whatever that thing was. Because to get to Larry's house, I had to go past that thing. And then I saw what that thing was. It was the steamy exhaust of a car. And the luminosity was the backup lights. Ghost. The thing wasn't something I'd imagined. The thing was there. What it was, had I imagined? On some level, yes. Do I congratulate myself for being so stubborn as to move past it? Well, if it had been a danger, maybe I wouldn't be congratulating myself. So I don't know that I do congratulate myself for moving past it. It has made me think more deeply about myself, one way or another. Now the coyotes are yapping. I don't like coyotes. I lost a whole flock of ducks to them once. Well, I wanted to talk to you about ghosting. I'm smoking a Mike Seward pipe full of delicious Mac Baron's Navy Flake, which I'm lighting with a gift. Some 25 years ago, no, it wasn't 25 years ago, feels like it. It was 10 years ago. I was having my 25th anniversary at work, and I was given this silver Dunhill pipe lighter, which is, I'd have never spent that money on myself. But but I was given it as a gift. How sweet. Just as I was given this Mike Stewart pipe. People have been kind to me. Ghosting is when a tobacco you've smoked has flavored a pipe to the point that maybe you think you're not tasting the tobacco that comes after it in its purest form, and well, no, you're not. Ghosting's a real thing. But it may not be a bad thing. If you don't want to experience ghosting, there are a couple of things you can do. One is smoke every tobacco in a brand new pipe. Oh, that gets costly. Or you could get a meerschaum. After you've smoked a meerschaum, you're supposed to wipe out the inside, the chamber, with a bit of paper towel. And that should keep the pipe from ghosting flavors. Why doesn't that work with a Briar pipe? I don't know. I've never tried it with a Briar pipe. But I don't think it would. Briar is more porous, I think, than meerschaum. Good Briar, anyway. That's what makes it smoke cool. The other thing you can do is smoke it in a clay. No kidding. The only danger with the clay pipe is holding it by the bowl. There's fire in the air. You don't want to hold it by the bowl. You want to hold it by the stem. Well, I have trouble holding pipes by the stem because I'm so used to smoking Briars. I just burn my fingers. I have some clays. I smoke them occasionally. So somebody asked me the other day, a few years ago, it wasn't this day, it was the other day. What's the difference between smoking a Briar and smoking a meerschaum? And I said, well, with a meerschaum you don't get ghosting. And you don't. You get the full rich flavor of whatever it is that you've put in there. It's like having a party in a hotel suite. A Briar keeps a bit of the history of everything you've ever smoked in it. That's the ghosts. Well, most families, if they own a home, own one. And a lot of families, there's some ancestral home where generations of your family have lived. Not all families, but a lot of families. Those places are full of ghosts. They're full of memories. And every visitor that's been there leaves a little something of him or herself. Whether that's a pleasant memory or an unpleasant memory. It's there. Behind me in the darkness is a house that was built more than 100 years ago. I mean to take it down. Before me, it was lived in by a young married couple. Before them, it was lived in by the elderly daughter of a farmer who had built the place. There's a lot of memories in that house. I don't mean to dishonor them. Maybe in your briar pipe, there's a lot of memories too. Maybe you're just putting them there. If you're smoking it, you're still putting memories there. That pipe, because you smoked it the way that you smoked it, and you put in it what you put in it, is unlike every other briar pipe in the world. There's not another one like it, not for flavor. And every new blend that you put in it adds another layer of flavor. Some guys, it seems, do the pipe thing for the sake of the pipe, because they're so pretty, and maybe they've got memories attached to them like they were a gift. This was a gift from the carver, who's a heck of a nice guy. Even if he hadn't given me the pipes, he was a heck of a nice guy. I enjoyed talking to him. Mike Stewart. Do you know, some guys are after just the particular taste of the tobacco, and that's fine too. I got no beef with either of those. Each one's after in the experience what he's after in the experience. I suppose what I'm after in this experience is the knowledge of each pipe as it becomes the thing that it will be by its end. The total of its experience. And of course, you don't get the total of the experience from the last bowl that's ever smoked in it. You get the total of the experience from the first bowl that's smoked in it to the last bowl that's smoked in it. A pipe like that becomes a more than three-dimensional object. It becomes a four-dimensional object, doesn't it? Because it takes on the dimension of time in a very particular way. It is a visual thing, the appreciation of the pipe's form and color and all of those qualia. But it's also a gustatory thing. The taste isn't ever going to be the same, even from one bowl to the next. Why is that bad? It's not bad, I don't think. It's just new information. New information. And more than anything else, what's packed in it isn't so much tobacco as it is memories. Memories of things you thought about, memories of people you were with, memories of where you got the pipe and how, memories of even that tobacco, that bowlful, that particular bowlful of tobacco comes packed with associations as well. Well, I suppose I'm done, and I don't know if I've said anything to you or not. It's hard to tell. Now, later on, I guess we'll know. Now, it's late. Go to bed.